welcome to AMC Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm Crystal Kennedy, and this is the show where we bring you the day's biggest movie news, and of course we give you insight into what it all means. Joining me, as always, is AMC Movie News Senior Editor, Mr. John Campea.
Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the show, coming to you live from the Stream.TV studios here in Hollywood, California. We are so glad you decided to make us part of your day.
We also have joining us our AMC Movie News Editor, Miss Amy Rose Eisenbach.
Hi guys, lovely to be back.
And the director of the upcoming film, The Death of Superman Lives. What happened? Mr. John Schnepp.
Hey, what's up? We're all wearing purple today. It's an awesome day.
Purple is Prince Day.
And I'm back on a roll. I got everyone's titles right today. Congratulations, Crystal. All right, guys, this past weekend, a man went into a screening of the new Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit movie wearing a pair of Google Glass glasses. Google Glass has a video camera built into them to record what the wearer sees. The MPAA notified the Department of Homeland Security, who came to the theater, escorted the man out of the theater, and questioned him for an hour. John, what do you make of this whole situation?
Okay, there's two sides of this where there is a bunch of ridiculousness happening. On the one side of the ridiculous, why is the responsibility of looking into movie piracy the purview of the Department of Homeland Security?
Yeah. Right.
This body that we have to fight terrorism is investigating and interrogating people for movie piracy? That's a little bit ridiculous. Now, full disclosure, the theater that this happened at is an AMC theater. Now, obviously, we're an AMC show, so I want to really preface anything I'm going to say by saying this. Anything I say here is completely my opinion and does not reflect the views or opinions of AMC theaters. All right? So, having said that, it's a little bit ridiculous that the Department of Homeland Security is the body governing this. And look, I'm not going to blame, you know, the MPAA for calling them. If that's the proper channel you're supposed to call, so be it. Right. It just seems a little weird that that's the process. That being said, what type of idiot brings a recording device into a movie theater? That's now everybody. Some people might say, well, you know, all your cell phones have recording. Yeah, but you keep them in your pocket. If you're sitting in the movie theater doing this, you know, somebody is going to say something to you, and as well they should. Now, some people are saying, well, his Google Glasses actually had prescription lenses in them,
Sure.
so he needs to wear them. Really? Look, Google Glass is great. Look, I'm a technology junkie. I watch my tech podcasts every single day. I'm really up on it. I'm very curious about Google Glass myself. But a lot of states have already passed laws that you can't even wear these things while driving. A lot of bars, a lot of bars took the initiative of saying, look, Google Glass is not permitted in our facilities. Because people are kind of creeped out by the idea that you could be taking pictures of them and video recording them and looking them up on Facebook without them even knowing. There's something inherently creepy about that. So this guy goes in. Now, the excuse is, oh, it's a part of his glasses. Look, I can walk into a movie theater, this movie camera, and I can walk in, sit down, have it on my shoulder, and I'm ready to watch my movie. And then somebody says, hey, you can't have that. No, it's okay. It's sewn into my shirt. It's actually a decoration. It's a part of my shirt. You don't want me coming. Yeah, you don't want me coming into the movie theater without a shirt, do you? That would be silly.
Actually, it looks kind of cool, like a laser cannon.
Yeah, I'm Soundwave or Megatron, whatever. So you walk into a movie theater and you have a video recording device out and pointed at the screen. Doesn't matter if it's up here as a part of your glasses or over here on your shoulder sewn into your shirt. You've got to be an idiot. It's like, honestly, this might sound extreme, but this is what it's like. It's like walking into an airport and yelling bomb. Saying, oh yeah, but I was just joking. Doesn't matter, they take that crap seriously. You can't walk into a movie theater with a video recording device out in the open, pointed at the screen, and not expect to be, this guy should have thought about this. And look, in movie theaters, I sometimes forget to turn my ringer off on my phone. That's embarrassing, but you know, it was just oversight, I forgot. And maybe he's wearing his glasses and just didn't even think about it, that there was a video camera pointed in. But the point is, it wasn't unreasonable for this guy to be pulled out of the theater and questioned when he's literally sitting in the theater doing this. Of course he's going to be questioned. Anyway, a lot of ridiculousness on both sides. Why is the Department of Homeland Security investigating this? But why is he walking in the theater with a camera on his face? Anyway, Amy Rose, how do you see this?
Well, while yelling bomb and bootlegging a film, I don't really see the comparison there. I do think it's pretty silly to think he's going to get away with that, but it does seem a little dramatic to be like, we need to question him for an hour. Like, first of all, how redundant of a conversation. What were you doing? Like, I don't really know what they were hoping to accomplish from that. Just kick the dude out. Just say, you got to get out. You can't do that. Okay.
Or look at his phone, see if he was recording.
Yeah.
And if he wasn't, say, okay, just take the glasses off and enjoy the film.
Yeah, but on that note, like, it just makes me the technological advances, where we're at now to where bootlegging a movie, you used to have to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Like, it just baffles me. So yeah, I think a lot of people just don't know what to do with those yet. They don't really understand. So maybe when he walked into the theater, or maybe he didn't have them on, they were just like, oh, the weird glasses. They maybe don't really know all the functionality yet, but I think it's a little dramatic of an example.
Well, also, I mean, Google Glass is not as widespread as, like, say, the iPhone.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah, not yet. But I'm just saying, like,
getting there.
you know, this guy was sort of like, hey, I'm just going to push it. Like, I've seen people walking around when we were at the New Media Expo with their Google Glasses, and I found it, like, you know, a little bit, you know, intrusive. Even though they weren't filming me or us or anything, it's at that point right now where it's not societally acceptable to, like, you know, you'll see articles in bars and strip clubs where, hey, get that Google Glass guy out of here, you know, booted to the curb. I don't know if this guy looks kind of like, you know.
I don't know. I don't think this is the guy.
Is that Judd
I wish it
Apatow's
was.
son with the Google glasses, or, you know, who is that hipster?
It'd be cool if it was the guy.
That is the actual guy who was booted. And he was like, no, but I was recording Jack Ryan, and totally admits it. I was fully recording the movie.
For the people.
Yeah, well, all movies should be free. He's one of those weirdos. So, but yeah, I mean, calling Homeland Security definitely is a little over the top.
Yeah.
You know, was he waterboarded as well? Like, where did you get the Google glasses? I ordered them. You know, it's like it's a little bit extreme.
A little bit.
Or if they're trying to set an example, hey, if you walk into a theater, we're going to call Homeland Security on you. That's what's going to happen, you know? So that's kind of like, I'm not going to wear Google Glasses. I don't even know if I'll ever get Google Glasses.
Lesson learned.
I mean, I would like to get myself a pair when they become more readily available, because I think there's some really cool things about it. But you do have to appreciate the inherent kind of creepiness, because Amy Rose, like, if you know, we were two different people and we were just hanging out in a bar, and I just came up to you and in the bar wanted to approach you, said, hey, beautiful, how you doing? What's your number?
I'd be creeped out.
You know, that's kind of creepy. So what? I don't know. It's just kind of weird. Anyway.
Well, that's the kind of life we're all going to be facing in exactly 3 years. When you can't even tell someone's wearing Google Glasses.
just a
They'll
chip.
just look like
Yeah.
either a chip in your eye or they'll be regular
Yeah.
Well,
glasses.
actually, you know what? I bought
Record image.
Yeah.
one of the things I got Anne for Christmas is I bought her one of those new Samsung Galaxy Gear watches that, you know, does all the stuff. You can take your phone calls on, text messages, whatever.
Cool, yeah.
But it's also got a camera built in.
Wow.
And a couple of her friends have noted that it's kind of creepy when she's sitting here at dinner like this at the table. She could actually be filming you and taking pictures, and that's on your wrist. I mean, so it's a different world we're going into now.
Truly.
All right, what's next?
Director Quentin Tarantino's next film was going to be the Western, The Hateful Eight. However, after his script for the film was leaked, Tarantino says he's dumping the project. Tarantino said the following: I'm not making this next. I'm going to publish it, and that's it for now. I give it out to 6 people, and if I can't trust them to that degree, then I have no desire to make it. I'll publish it, I'm done, I'll move on to the next thing. I've got 10 more where that came from. Amy Rose, are you disappointed The Hateful Eight now seems to be dead?
I'm incredibly disappointed. I mean, I loved the spaghetti western genre that he's been exploring, and I was really looking forward to seeing him do it again, and this sounded even more like Magnificent Seven-like, and I was really excited about it. But at the same time, you know, as an artist myself, the ultimate insult, the ultimate pain is betrayal, and that's what he was feeling right now. A lot of people are going, oh, he's so dramatic, he's being such a diva, but he literally created this project from the ground up, put so much love and time and dedication into his vision, and gave it to 6 people. It wasn't like it was reading it across the table with, you know, hundreds of people already on set and it leaked early.
Right.
6 people. So to me, I understand from the artistic perspective of just feeling so much pain, but I also understand that sometimes when you feel portrayed like that your emotions get the best of you. So I do think we're gonna see this film. I do, you know, but hey, he's gonna explore another one of his original projects. So it's still gonna be great, but I do think, you know, he's saying he's publishing this into a book, which will be great. And I think once it settles down a little bit, he'll figure it out. But that cast, I mean, Bruce Dern and Christoph Waltz and everyone
Samuel
in
Jackson,
it,
and yeah.
incredible. So I am disappointed, but I do understand what he's feeling.
Snap.
Yeah, every film nerd worth their salt is disappointed that he's not going to make this film. Like when it was announced, everyone was like, "All right, finally another Tarantino film and a cool Western," you know. So it's very disappointing, and you know, we live in Hollywood. It's, you know, you got to watch your back, and it's a horrible thing when you realize, like, hey, some trusted friends that he probably said do not distribute this to. I'm sure that was part of the deal.
You shouldn't even have to say that.
I know,
to
but
somebody.
I'm just saying, even on top of that, it's
Yeah.
like he had a little group meeting with some, you know, valued customers, his actors, his friends, and they gave it to their agent, and one of the agents gave it to the world. So I'm with Tarantino as far as being really pissed, and he's not being over dramatic.
I don't think so
He's
either.
just being very true. You know, he's wearing his emotions on his sleeves, and why not? For a case like this, it's like, can we just chill out for a minute and stop telling everyone everything on the internet and let some things just happen naturally?
Yeah.
Especially if it's like a project like this, where it's like, look, it's gonna eventually leak. Django Unchained went online while they were filming it, and he was like a little irked, I'm sure, about that.
But that was why they were
They
filming
were filming it. I mean, you know, how about like let it be fresh off the press for more than a week? So
every artist has their process, like, you know.
So it's very upsetting. I certainly hope. I haven't read the script. Or I'm going to stay away from it until he actually publishes it. And even then, I might not read it because I'd love to see it. I would like him to chill for a year. Maybe he's going to do that Robert Blake kind of murder mystery prison thing.
Which would be cool.
Whatever he's going to do is going to be awesome. The guy hasn't hit, you know, he's hit home runs every time.
Every time.
One of the viewers on the live chat board right now, I don't know how to pronounce his name, it's just EES. He writes, "New movie idea for Tarantino, The Untrustworthy Six."
Ooh, I like
that.
it.
It's the prison one.
I get where Tarantino's coming from as far as how he was feeling. Is he overreacting by being super pissed? No, he is not. This is not an overreaction. Your trust was violated. It's not overreacting to be super pissed. However, and Quentin, I know you're watching. Quentin Tarantino's not watching.
I hope he is.
But take a step back and take a deep breath. To cancel the movie project is an overreaction. Feeling pissed, being really upset, being mad, feeling violated, your trust, all that kind of stuff is not an overreaction. He absolutely has every right to feel that way. But who is he punishing by canceling the film? Is he punishing one of the actors?
Fans.
Is he punishing the agencies?
Right.
Is he punishing himself for letting it happen? No, you're right, Amy Rose. Ultimately, what he's doing is punishing the fans. And I don't think he's meaning to do that. No.
It's his heart.
I gotta believe that Tarantino is a smart enough and savvy enough guy. Because look, we've all done rash things when we've been hurt. And say, "You're the stupidest butthead I've ever seen," when you say that to the person, your best friend. And then the next day you're like, "I shouldn't have said that." I gotta believe that at some point, Tarantino is going to take a step back, take a deep breath, and go, why am I not doing this great idea of a movie? Why am I done? Because I got pissed at somebody else? Listen, and I gotta believe he's still gonna do it. I mean, I got nothing to back that up with except to say I believe.
Hope.
I just believe cooler heads will prevail.
Well, you're 100% right, and I hope that he realizes that his reaction is actually punishing all of us fans, and hopefully he realizes that, you know, a lot of fans like us are not going to read it online. We're going to wait for you to make the film. So, you know, the
99.9% of fans aren't going to read it.
That's
online.
what I'm saying. The 100 people,
Not that
and
it's
their
online.
agents, friends, like, look, I got the Tarantino script. So all those people, screw them. But
He's
don't,
hurt.
Yeah,
He's hurt.
Don't screw us. Make another Tarantino film. Tarantino, please, you know.
All right, it's time for buy or sell. Here's how this works. In front of her, Crystal Lee's got a few other items in the world of movie news. She's going to run them down, and then Schnepp, Amy Rose, and I are simply going to say whether we buy it or sell it. So, Crystal Lee, what do we got?
According to reports, writer Simon Kinberg, who was brought in to do a rewrite of the Fantastic Four reboot script, has finished the screenplay, and the studio is now pushing forward with trying to cast the film. Actors reportedly still auditioning for roles include Miles Teller, Kit Harington, and Richard Madden for Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic, and Kate Mara and Saoirse Ronan for Sue Storm, aka the Invisible Woman. Schnepp, buy or sell that Fantastic Four is actually ready to go.
Well, I buy that image. That's Art Adams' artwork that was up there.
That's a great picture.
And I think the Fantastic Four in the movie are going to be 20 years younger than that picture. Because I think they're supposed to be 18. They're in college. Yeah, I guess I'm going to, hesitantly buy the casting and that the script is done. Simon Kinberg has done some great adaptations so far of superhero films. And so I'm not gonna burn it down and say it's another, like the first two Fantastic Four films, which,
were
basically
classics. They were gold.
classics. I have at least 30 copies of them encased in gold.
Nay, perfection.
Yes, I hated them more than life itself. And I'm a Fantastic Four fan, have been since I was 4 years old.
Aww.
Horrifyingly
Wait a minute,
bad
you
films.
didn't like the Mr. Fantastic getting down doing the elastic boogie at the dance club in Fantastic Four 2?
That was almost as bad as the Corman rubber hand waving of the 1994 classic Fantastic Four.
That was almost as bad as emo Peter Parker in the third
Oh,
Spider-Man.
it was worse.
No, nothing compares to the Fantastic Four movies. Those are dreck. I'd watch Spider-Man 3 100 times before I'd ever watch either of those
I
two
agree.
Fantastic Four movies. So with that being said, I'm actually kind of excited that Trank has this perspective going on, like kind of doing a realistic version of the Fantastic Four. And it's cool with me. At first, I was a little upset that they were doing the Fantastic Four babies, as you like to say, because they're all in college and they're young. So depending on how they deal with Annihilus and other aspects of the script, I'm excited to see the casting, and I'm cool with everything right now. I'm cool with all of the casting decisions. I'm just going to let it roll and see what happens.
Hey, Rose?
Love this optimism, Schneppy. I'm going to buy that it's also probably ready to go. I mean, we've been following this for a long time, and initially, everyone's like, Mark Millar has faith in Josh Trank's Fantastic Four, and then all of a sudden there are all these rewrites happening and this, and then it's been quiet for a while. So that to me indicates that Kinberg came in, got some good work going, and I do, like you said, he has produced some really great work, and I think he was definitely the man to bring in to kind of rewrite. And I loved Chronicle. I loved Trank's vision there. So I do think that, while I was also initially a little shocked that they were going to go so young, I think bringing this to the new generation, if they do it right, if Trank, at the helm has a clear vision of what he wants, because he's a diehard fan of this property, which again gives me more faith. And Kate Mara, I'm not going to lie, I think that's a pretty good casting. Saoirse feels a little young for even younger. She looks like she's 12. I love her. She's talented, but Kate Mara I do think could be a good Sue. But yeah, the rest we'll see how it unfolds. But yeah, I think they probably are headed in the right direction finally.
For me, this is a sell. I mean, it's really good to hear that the script's done and that Kinberg's done his work on it. I can't get over the Fantastic Four babies. I just can't. I mean, I'm not saying the movie's going to be bad. It could end up being awesome, and I'll be really happy if it is. I just think this is the wrong direction to go from an outsider point of view. I feel like it's the wrong direction, and it kind of irks me a bit, but that's just me. So for me, it's a sell.
Bruce Willis has joined the upcoming sci-fi action film Vice. Willis will star opposite Two Guns actress Amber Childers. Vice takes place in a future world where the wealthy have the option of visiting a futuristic resort where even the darkest of fantasies can be lived out, thanks to a robot staff that is reset every night. Childers plays one of the robots who, thanks to an error, winds up with every memory of her entire experience at the facility, leading her to seek revenge against the resort's owner, played by Willis. John, buy or sell the sounds of Vice?
I gotta buy it. This sounds pretty good. It sounds like a sci-fi version of Hostel. Can you imagine the concept of, a human-like android that gets abused in all the most awful, terrible ways and gets reset, but they actually remember everything that happens to them. From a character study, that's fascinating. Where you could do with that, and you could almost get like an old boy kind of revenge thing going on. So for me, this sounds really cool. I love Bruce Willis. I find Bruce Willis really at home, more in sci-fi thriller stuff than even in just straight up action films. So for me, this is a buy. Amy Rose?
Yeah, I think the premise sounds really interesting. It's also a buy for me. I love the concept of playing out your darkest fantasies with these robots, and then it kind of sounds like that mixed with like The Host, because her, you know, she has the image of her before they, whatever. Yeah, it sounds really cool, and I do love Bruce Willis in this. The last sci-fi one was Looper, right? That he was in, and that was a great movie. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I love sci-fi.
Yeah. That dude's been in a lot of sci-fi movies. I was trying to remember the one where it had similar robots and they had different body replacements. What was that one called?
Oh, I know the one you're talking about.
I don't remember.
Crap, I can't remember. I know the one you're
Tell
talking
us,
about.
chat board, tell us.
Put it online, tell us. Yeah, I totally buy this, and it's like a female Terminator almost.
Yes.
Like if Terminators were abused, I think what they're saying is the staff, their memories are erased, but for some reason this one robot keeps all these horrible memories and then becomes like a vengeance machine. So whether Bruce Willis is going to be the bad guy or not, because he runs the resort, or whether he's going to be the one who helps the robot and like, yeah, this is wrong, you know? It sounds like a really fun premise. And
kind of Total Recall, too. There's a lot of little influences in there.
And Willis is at home in Sci-Fi. I love seeing him in Sci-Fi.
So by yourself.
I totally buy it.
All right, what's next?
As many of you know, an Alice in Wonderland sequel is in the works with Johnny Depp and Mia Wasikowska, both set to reprise their roles. It now appears Wonderland has a new villain. Reports claim that actor Sacha Baron Cohen is currently in talks to play the bad guy in the new film. Amy Rose Byer sells Sacha Baron Cohen as the villain in the new Alice in Wonderland movie.
I'll buy it. I actually really like him as an actor, and in Les Miserables, he kind of played the kooky villain, and I think he's made for a Tim Burton film like this. Even though the original, I didn't love it, to be honest. I thought it was visually stunning, but kind of fell flat for me. And I love me some Johnny. Mia Wasikowska is like phenomenal, but it didn't work for me. But I do think that they're going to kind of get all that right because they took all the feedback, and I think Sacha kind of feels right at home with this ensemble.
Yeah, I'm going to buy it because I agree with you. Sacha feels like the type of performer who would fit really well into that Tim Burton-esque, even though Tim Burton is not directing this one. Muppets director Bobbin is
James Bobbin,
is directing this one. But not only his character in Les Mis, but also his character, the Martin Scorsese film. The name of the movie is The Kid's Name.
Yes.
Not Oscar, not Oliver.
The Millier tribute film.
Yes.
Oh my God,
that was in 3D.
Why am I drawing a
Tower.
Anyway, shot in 3D. But anyway, so he does.
Hugo.
Hugo.
Yes. That feels so good.
He feels like a good fit for this type of thing, and I think he's a great performer, especially comedically, so you know he's going to do something funny, so for me it's a buy.
Yeah, it's a total buy. Sacha Baron always makes me laugh, even if he's in a bad movie. He's great in it. And I was disappointed that he's not going to play Freddie Mercury, but hey,
this is very disappointing.
Just to see that he's going to be in a magical fantasy land doing some weird villainous character, it's a buy. So.
All right, folks, we've reached that part of the show for mailbag. Listen, if you've got a topic or a question you'd like us to address on the show, you can email us anytime at amcmovietalk@gmail.com. Now, we're going to take some questions from the live chat board in a second, so you can start putting some questions there. But for now, Chrisley's got a few questions pulled out of the mailbag. So, Chrisley, what do we got?
Jameson Placken writes, "Hi, I love AMC Movie Talk. So I heard things that actress Shailene Woodley has not been asked back to Spider-Man 3 yet. My question is, do you think she will ever be, or do you think they will get a new actress to play Mary Jane? Do you think they should introduce Mary Jane in this new Spider-Man series, or just do without the character? What are your thoughts on all of this?"
Yeah, well, in a recent interview with, I think it was MTV interviewed Shailene Woodley, she said that now that they've picked up the Divergent sequels, she's not completely sure that her schedule is now going to allow her to be in The Amazing Spider-Man 3. There was speculation that when they cut the Mary Jane character out of Spider-Man 2, that meant Shailene Woodley was gone. And I can tell you that I know that that's not the case. They had every intention of keeping her on for The Amazing Spider-Man 3 to play Mary Jane. But now things are changing. Divergent's been picked up. They still haven't been really clear on where they're going to go with Mary Jane in the third film. So she may be out. And it's unfortunate. But if she has to be out, you don't take the character out.
No.
I mean, at all. I always say this, the character is bigger than the actor playing him. They just replace her with somebody else. She's never even been on screen yet as Mary Jane. So it'll be unfortunate if she has to move on. I got a feeling we're still going to see her, though. I think it's still going to work out. But if she has to move on, no big deal.
I've been so impressed with Shailene Woodley's work thus far. Spectacular Now, Descendants, and I would have loved to see her as Mary Jane, but I completely agree. Mary Jane is so pivotal to Peter Parker's life in this universe that it would be a mistake, in my opinion. I'm glad they got rid of her for this film, the upcoming Amazing Spider-Man 2,
because it was
they did, too stacked, and I want to see Gwen Stacy's plot still continue, but yeah, no, she needs to be in the film. She should definitely be in the third film.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly hope they keep her for the third film and don't just, you know, like discard her because of like when they cut out those scenes. There are a lot of people are like, oh, they're recasting her, this and that. I think she's, you know, seems like she'll be a good fit. It's hard to tell because I haven't seen her as Mary Jane. So, but you know, why not keep her for the third film?
And I'm full disclosure, I've never been happy with the casting of Shailene. As much as I love her as an actress, never been. I never saw her as a fit for Mary Jane, but I still think she'll stick in there. I think we're going to see her there. All right, what's next?
Sergio C. writes, enjoy the show. My question is, will we ever see a Magnum PI movie? There were talks of one around 5 years ago, then it went away. I would really like to see one having been a big fan of the show, and who would you pick to play him? As for me, I would pick Luke Evans. Just make his mustache thicker.
I'm a huge fan of Luke Evans, massive fan, but Luke Evans cannot play Magnum P.I. I mean, Magnum P.I., if you want to go with the spirit of it, Magnum P.I. is a much taller dude than Luke is. Luke's not the tallest guy in the world, whatever, not a big deal. But yeah, about 5, 6, 7 years ago, there was talk about it. George Clooney was actually rumored for a long time to play Magnum P.I., which at the time, 7 years ago, would have been pretty cool. He might be a little too old to play the role now. That would have been neat. Look, in an age where studios are really big on finding nice, established, name-recognizable properties, the mustache is a great dude.
Yeah.
Magnum P.I. is a great thing to go, and of course you got to find a way to get Selleck a cameo in it.
Look at that Selleck.
Yeah.
Look at Selleck.
I love that
There
Selleck.
he is.
But now most of you probably know this. Interesting piece of trivia about Magnum P.I. Tom Selleck was originally cast to play Indiana Jones. Tom Selleck,
I think he would've been
it
great.
wasn't just in talks, it was done deal. He was going to play Indiana Jones. But then, as it turns out, the TV network had him under contract, and they decided to move forward with this Magnum P.I. show. Tom Selleck had to go do that, so George Lucas went with somebody who knew, and Harrison Ford, and history was made, and it worked out great for both of them. Anyway, how would you guys see could you see a Magnum P.I. series? And if so,
Yes.
who could you see playing him?
That's a tough question on the top of my head, but because I mean Tom Selleck, just look at that, he was so great, and you know it really takes a lot to rock a stash like that, and Magnum P.I. needs a stash like that. But yeah, I really would love to see it. I mean, the story lends itself so well to reboot it for this generation. But at the top of my head, it's kind of hard to just pull a name. I mean, I think of older actors like Sam Elliott, and like in his class, that would be great. But it takes me a minute to think of someone in our generation.
I'd say like Seth Rogen or Jack Black.
Oh, gosh.
Just rock that stash, maybe, or throw in the, everybody always loves to say Benedict Cumberbatch or
yeah,
Michael
for
Fassbender.
everything.
Why don't you throw them into the mix, blend it, and then you might come up with some other actor who I don't know.
Maybe Timothy Olyphant. Maybe
That's
Timothy
not a bad
Oh,
one.
that's actually not a bad name
Yeah,
for that.
I actually could see that.
I like that.
That's good.
And of course, for TC, you got to get Terry Crews.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
always.
TC.
Throw him in anything. I'm in.
Perfect.
All right, folks, one of the things we like to do at the end of the show is just take a couple quick minutes to go through some questions on the live board, because we do this show live every day, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So a lot of people have been firing questions on the chat board. Chris Lee is the gatekeeper of all things to the chat board. So Chris Lee, let's fire off some questions from there.
Tess Marshall wants to know, Divergent, have you heard any buzz? Is this the next big young adult franchise?
Okay, I haven't seen it. But if anything, what was that last young adult vampire werewolf thing that was just out?
Well, Vampire Academy
You
is
hated
coming
it.
out.
Oh, Mortal Instruments.
Mortal Instruments.
Oh, yeah.
City of Junk.
No, not as a commentary on the movie, but I think people are
City of Duty.
kind of twilighted, and the host was a big flop.
Oh, huge flop.
And then, you know, Mortal Instruments was a big flop. I got a feeling people are kind of twilighted out. And that's what this has the feel of.
Don't tell Vampire Academy that.
It might be great, and I got a feeling Vampire Academy ain't going to do so well either. But we can hope that it's going to be awesome, and that'll do wonderful. I just don't know. I got a feeling it's not going to perform well. I hope it does. I want to see a great film. Whenever I walk into a movie, some people hope movies are terrible. That's stupid. Why would you want to have 2 hours of your
I wanna
life
waste
wasted?
2 hours of my life.
No matter how good or bad I think a movie's going to be, I always go in hoping it's going to be awesome, because I want to be entertained. And maybe Divergent will be awesome. I just wonder about how people are going to respond to it. How do you guys see it?
I've heard the book's really great. I know our own Chris Lee read it and loved it, but you know, it has a much more adult theme, even though it is young adult, and it's sci-fi, and it's dealing with, you know, separating people into different classes, which never works out. And like, I just think it has a lot of really interesting, relevant themes that are going to speak to a wider audience than just vampires and love triangles and this. So I think that if it ever had a shot to succeed as the next young adult, you know, phenomenon at the box office, that this is a good one to give a run for its money, but we'll see.
What was the? It feels to me a little bit like the host. What was that Ethan Hawke film where you're divided into the classes? Gattaca, thank you. It feels like a mix of Gattaca and the host to me a little bit.
I liked
see
Gattaca.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I think if they market it right and play up the catching fire themes, the Hunger Game themes,
much more
and
like
less of the, you know, slappy, I'm a dazzling sparkle creature, which I don't think there's not that much.
No, that's not a part
There's
of
not
it.
monsters in it.
No.
But it definitely, when I saw the trailer, the newest trailer, it reminded me a little bit of Catching Fire.
Yeah.
A little bit
Rebellion.
of the Hunger Games
Yeah.
in general, like the separation of.
But will that play against it? Will it play against it? That trying to.
I think
it's different enough that it's
Yeah.
like it's less so class struggle and more so genetic.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
when
that's
you
interesting.
mention the Gattaca, that's definitely
Yeah.
a strong theme. If they're able to differentiate that
Yeah.
for the young adult audience, like this isn't the Hunger Games. This is actually genetics, and that's what we're dealing with this.
Chrisley, you've read the book. How do you think people are going to respond to this when it comes out?
I actually have read all 3 books and loved them, and it is very Hunger Games-esque without the pageantry. So it's almost like a more serious side of what the Hunger Games could have been, and the lead is amazing, and I think Shailene Woodley is going to be great. So it has the potential of definitely being that next franchise if it's done well.
You're our young adult expert, Chrisley, in the house.
Yep.
All right, let's rapid fire
All
a few
right.
more.
King Law, question: Is there a possibility that Bradley Cooper will be Doctor Strange rather than John Hamm? Because there's no way Bradley is just the voice of Rocket Raccoon.
It's possible he's just the voice of Rocket Raccoon. It's possible.
Possible.
But it's also possible he could be Doctor Strange. It's also possible he could be Wasp. It's also possible he could be the next Black Widow. It's possible. I mean, I've seen nothing to suggest that that's what's going to happen, but it is absolutely possible.
And they have more flexibility if they are just a voice, or Groot, or any of these other characters to show up as another character.
Because we know Vin Diesel's deal of being Groot is connected with him playing another character, but that doesn't necessarily mean the same thing's going to happen with Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see him play anything, but I'm glad that he's the voice of
Rocket. That's going to be cool.
All right.
Cheetah MJP5, do you think Jack Ryan's Shadow Recruit was successful enough that we'll see more Jack Ryan movies with Chris Pine?
Nope.
No.
Cheetah MVP5. Cheetah MVP5.
Which is weird. I actually like the film. I like it.
I didn't see it.
I know
yet.
Dennis thought it was okay. Dennis didn't love it, but Dennis thought it was okay. You saw it.
I thought it was fun, about what I expected. Nothing magical about it, but I like the characters that Tom Clancy's created.
Yeah,
So.
but it underperformed.
Yeah.
So I think the Christopher Pine run as Jack Ryan is done.
I love the poster because they have like, you know, Pine, and then they have the other characters, and then a little tiny Kenneth Branagh, and he's like, I wanted to write in, I directed this.
I
made this.
him.
Just the poster,
I
I might have to
him.
buy it eventually.
And Kevin Costner, love that.
All right,
Kevin
what's next?
Clovey101 wants to know if we think the new Indiana Jones film will use time travel. That way we can have both Harrison Ford and a new Indiana Jones.
No, you can't. You don't, unless you have a 30-year-old Harrison Ford, which there is not. And let's be clear here, there is nothing that has said definitively that there's going to be another Indiana Jones film. I actually don't think there is going to be until they reboot it. I think they'll reboot at some point, but I think the Harrison Ford run as Indiana Jones is done. A lot of people say otherwise, and so it's very possible it could. I just have a feeling it's not going to happen. Then again, I said for 5 years that Crystal Skull was never going to happen, and it did. So take that with a grain of salt.
They made Jeff Bridges 30 in Tron. Hey.
Yes, but I want to point this out to people. People always say, people think it's so easy, and I know you don't, but people think it's so easy. Oh, just digitally make them look younger.
No, I think
like,
it's creepy, to be
all
honest.
these emails I got from people when I said Denzel Washington can't be Green Lantern because he's just too old to. Oh, well, we'll just make him digitally young. Look, Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart in that scene in X-Men, remember, all the movement was this. Your daughter is very special. Oh, Charles, I like her.
You sound
and the
more
same
like
thing with
Austin
Jeff
Powers,
Bridges,
John.
yes. And then Jeff Bridges too. When Jeff Bridges, when they digitally make it, it really limits what
thought
they
it was
can
creepy.
do.
It looked horrible. It's called
To be honest.
it's called the uncanny valley, is what the actual term is, where it's like we're not able to make humans yet. We can make cars and boats and apes, and you'll believe that. But the minute you make it, try to add a human to us humans watching humans,
It's weird.
we haven't broken that yet. So, and it's not there yet. So
Just give us a cameo of Ford, and that's all we really need at this
I want
age,
Harrison
you know?
Ford in a wheelchair. Shia LaBeouf can't be anywhere
No.
near this
Keep
movie,
LaBeouf out.
and just a brand new cool story.
All right, what's next?
Christian films. Do you think we will see an Ocean's 14 movie, or could we see a reboot?
There's no reason not to.
It made money.
They all made money. All these guys legitimately like working together. I think it'd be a few more years off. I think they'd want to get older.
Sure.
And then so it kind of has a new kind of take on it. But I just don't see why not. All these guys, Cheadle's more popular than ever. Pitt's riding a big thing of success right now. Clooney, Damon. It's not like any of these guys have gone away.
Scott
Kahn. So it sounds great.
Soderbergh could spin that into getting another cool independent movie. Hey, I'll do the Ocean's 14 if you let me do this cool movie.
I'm a sucker for heists, so I'm in. I love those kind of premise and story.
All right, 2 more quick ones.
My question has froze. I cannot pull any more questions from the chat board because it's frozen. Because
Okay, let me
you're
look at
sending so many.
My chat board is frozen too, so that's it.
Good
We're
job,
gonna call
guys.
it.
Sorry.
You guys broke YouTube. Okay, so listen, guys, thanks so much for joining us. Listen, lots of great films playing in AMC theaters right now. Head on over to www.amctheaters.com for your theater, showtime, and movie ticket information. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It'll keep you up to date on everything going on in the world of movie news, including, of course, our AMC Movie Talk Daily Show, our AMC Mailbag Weekend Show, and launching on Tuesday, AMC Versus, which I'm really, really very excited about. I want to thank those sitting at the table with me. First of all, our AMC Movie News editor, Miss Amy Rose Eisenbach. Amy Rose, where can people find you online?
On Twitter at Amy Rosie. Had another great day with you guys. Thank you.
Sitting over here, John Schnepp. Schnepp, where can people find you online?
You can find me, follow me on Twitter, John Schnepp, and Instagram, John Schnepp. Just got some amazing news for my Superman doc. I'm beaming about it. I can't tell you yet.
Come on, tell us.
I can't until I film it. It's in the can, and then I'm going to tell everybody. But incredible news. And I want to do Wonder Power Purple Twin Powers.
Oh, yes.
Form up a bucket of water.
And, of course, our lovely host, Miss Chrisley Kennedy. Chrisley, where can people find you online?
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Chrisley, and follow my blog, The Movie Chick.
And you guys can just find me on the various social media networks just at John Campia. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. Don't forget to come back and join us again tomorrow. Until then, my name is John Campia for AMC Movie News, and until then, bye-bye.
If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to AMC Movie News on YouTube. It's free and a great way to stay updated with all the latest movie news, and check out our daily show, AMC Movie Talk. Also, don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter to stay in the loop for our special prizes, giveaways, and contests.